Chosen one, imagine a silent table bathed in shadow, a plate placed before you, food steaming, aroma rising, yet unseen forces leaning close as you lift your fork. What you thought was nourishment, what you believed would strengthen your body, carried something far deeper, darker, and more invisible than the taste could reveal. God said your last meal brought spiritual poison, not poison that strikes the flesh, but poison that whispers to your soul. It was a delivery of energy designed not to feed you, but to weaken your spirit, to fog your clarity, to bind your light in chains you couldn't see. You must understand this. Not all food is food. Not every drink refreshes. Some meals are gates, and through those gates, entities pass. What enters your stomach also enters your spirit, hidden in flavors, in oils, in ingredients touched by hands that prayed in darkness or were cursed with envy. There can be threads of shadow woven into every bite. That is why God is speaking to you now, because you've carried a heaviness that doesn't belong to you, a sluggishness in your spirit and confusion in your dreams. This is not random. This is what happens when spiritual poison disguises itself as bread, as meat, as wine. Think of the moments after that meal. Did you feel drained? Did your heart sink without reason? Did your thoughts scatter, leaving you restless, uneasy, even guilty for things you never did? That is not hunger satisfied. It is spiritual attack digested. The enemy knows you won't swallow lies if they're offered straight to your face, but if he seasons them, if he hides them under sweetness, under tradition, under something familiar, then he plants them within you without your resistance. That is why God is exposing it now, so you won't mistake the heaviness in your chest as your fault. You must see that what you consumed carried weight that was never yours to carry. Chosen one, the table is not just a table, it is an altar. Every meal has power, because every meal is an exchange. You think you're simply feeding the body, but in truth, you are either feeding your light or feeding the shadows that seek to dim it. And when God said your last meal brought spiritual poison, he was revealing the warfare hidden inside the simplest act of eating. He was warning you that you cannot trust everything served to you, because not everyone who offers food wishes your spirit to rise. Some hands serve you with bitterness dripping from their hearts. Some kitchens stir envy into the pot. Some meals are rituals disguised as recipes. And the moment you take them in, you enter into their agreement unknowingly. But hear this. What the enemy planted through that meal does not have to remain in you. Poison is not permanent when the voice of God calls it out. You are not condemned to carry it forever. Right now, even as you listen, the truth itself is acting as an antidote, burning away the residue of that shadow, breaking off the chains of confusion, washing out the heaviness. But you must awaken. You must understand that God is alerting you not for yesterday's sake, but for tomorrow's survival. This is about your destiny, your clarity, your divine alignment. And the moment you see that food is more than flesh, you will rise above every hidden trap served on silver plates of deception. The air around you shifted after that meal, didn't it? You sensed it, but brushed it off. The dreams became heavier, the silence of night more restless, and your thoughts carried a weight that seemed unshakable. God said your last meal was not just food. It was a seed of confusion planted into your spirit. The enemy hoped you wouldn't notice, but you did. Somewhere deep within, your soul whispered, "Something is wrong." That whisper was heaven's alarm ringing inside you, trying to protect you before the shadows could fully take root. And now you are here, chosen to hear this, chosen to see beyond the plate, chosen to awaken to what most will never understand. You're not here by accident. You've been guided to this moment. God is revealing to you that every bite carries energy, every swallow carries agreement. If you feel this truth striking your soul, don't stay silent. Write your warmest wishes in the comments. Seal them with the number 99. It's time to release your wish to the universe. Do it boldly. If your spirit woke up while listening, don't scroll away. Like this video. Subscribe now. You belong here. This is your confirmation, and your presence here proves your alignment. The universe is waiting for your declaration. Release it now, chosen one. This is not about fear. It is about power. When you identify the poison, you strip it of its authority. And when you name it, it loses its grip. That meal may have entered your body, but it does not own your spirit. Your light is stronger than any shadow disguised as nourishment. God allowed you to feel the difference, so you would never again confuse fullness with freedom. He is teaching you to recognize when food is heavy with curses, when drink carries bitterness, and when the hands that serve you are not clean. You are being trained to see through what others cannot, because your destiny demands it. And remember this, what tries to destroy you often exposes itself at the moment of your greatest awakening. That heaviness you carried after eating was not a curse. It was a revelation. It showed you how sensitive your spirit truly is, how tuned your soul is to divine frequency. You are not weak for feeling drained. You are strong for perceiving the unseen. And now, instead of being a victim of spiritual poison, you are becoming a warrior who knows how to detect it before it even touches your lips. Imagine a torch burning in the darkness, its flame steady yet surrounded by winds that try to snuff it out. That torch is you, chosen one. Every meal you consume, every offering you accept, feeds either that flame or the winds that attempt to extinguish it. God said your last meal carried spiritual poison because the enemy saw your fire rising. He knew you were on the edge of clarity, on the threshold of a breakthrough, so he tried to slip into your body what he could not break in your mind. Poison is not always designed to kill you instantly. It is crafted to slow you down, to weaken your light, to make you doubt your strength. And yet here you are, still listening, still breathing, still carrying a pulse of destiny. That means the poison failed. It entered, but it did not conquer. It touched your body, but it could not chain your soul. And that is the very proof of your calling, because not everyone survives it. There are those who eat and sink into despair, who consume and never wake up, whose minds drown in confusion, until they forget who they are. But not you. You rose. You questioned. You felt the difference. You noticed the weight. That sensitivity is your weapon, not your weakness. Chosen one, the world tells you food is just food, but heaven reveals food as covenant. When someone prepares a meal, they are pouring part of their spirit into what you eat. That is why you must be careful. Was that dish cooked in bitterness? Was it seasoned with jealousy? Was it stirred with anger, or worse, with hidden rituals whispered over the pot? Every bite is a silent agreement, every swallow an unspoken bond. That is why you felt the heaviness. You entered into an agreement you never intended to make. And God is saying, break it. Break it now with awareness, with prayer, with the authority that flows through your chosen spirit. But do not fear, because exposure is deliverance. The fact that God revealed this to you means He is cutting the chains even now. The spiritual poison is powerless once it has been exposed. What you thought was meant to weaken you is becoming your training ground. What was designed to confuse you is sharpening your discernment. From now on, when you sit at any table, you will see beyond the food. You will sense the spirit behind the meal. You will know when the bread is pure and when it is bitter with shadow, and with this vision, you will walk in a strength few can ever touch. Picture a mirror cracked down the center, reflecting your face in fragments. That's what spiritual poison does. It distorts, divides, and disguises. God said your last meal brought spiritual poison because the enemy wanted you to look into the mirror of your life and no longer recognize yourself. He wanted your thoughts scattered, your focus broken, your faith diluted. It wasn't just about food. It was about breaking the alignment between your body and your spirit. And yet the very fact that you can hear this now means the fragments are being gathered, the mirror is being restored, and your identity is being reassembled stronger than before. Chosen one, reflect on how subtle it was. You didn't fall ill. You weren't bedridden. But your emotions shifted. Your mind wandered into darker spaces. Your sleep carried shadows that didn't belong to you. That is how spiritual poison works. It hides beneath the surface, hoping you'll dismiss it as nothing. But God doesn't let His chosen dismiss what is dangerous. He reveals it. He names it. He drags it into the light so it loses its hidden power. That's why you are here, not to fear what happened, but to recognize the truth and turn it into your strength. This is your wake-up call. Your body is more than flesh, your meals more than calories. You are a temple, and temples are not fed casually. Temples are fed with intention, with reverence, with protection. Every bite you take is not just fuel. It is a spiritual transaction. If your last meal carried poison, then it was not about food at all, but about weakening the temple where your light dwells. The enemy has always tried to defile temples, but what he forgets is this: God Himself inhabits the chosen temple, and when God's presence fills you, no poison has the authority to claim you. So what now? Now you rise with awareness. Now you choose carefully who feeds you, who prepares your plate, who has access to your table. You are not to eat out of obligation. You are not to drink from every cup. You are to discern, to pause, to ask, to listen. Because the moment you take control of what enters your temple, you shut the door on countless hidden attacks. That last meal may have carried poison, but it has also carried revelation. And revelation is the antidote. What once weakened you has now armed you with eyes sharper than ever, spirit more alert than ever, soul more untouchable than ever. Chosen one, see yourself walking through a dimly lit hall, the sound of your own footsteps echoing like thunder in a space that feels endless. Behind you, the shadows of that last meal try to cling, whispering, pulling, reminding you of heaviness you once felt. But before you, a door glows with light, pulsing as if it's alive, as if heaven itself carved it just for you. That is what God wants you to see. The poison is behind you, but the door is ahead, and only you, with awakened eyes, can step through. The enemy hoped to trap you in silence. He thought that by planting spiritual poison, he could numb your voice, dim your fire, and bury your discernment. But he underestimated who you are. You are not ordinary. You are chosen. Your spirit cannot be silenced, because heaven itself breathes through you. That last meal was a test, not a tomb, and though the shadows tried to settle in your soul, the light has already begun its purge. You are rising, not just from what entered your body, but from every dark intention that tried to ride along with it. Think of the strength you now carry. You tasted deception, but recognized truth. You swallowed heaviness, but discovered clarity. You faced poison, but gained power. Who else can stand where you are standing right now? Very few. This is why you must not let this moment slip by as just another video, just another message. No. This is a turning point, a line drawn in your story. From here on, you will walk with eyes that see the unseen, with a spirit that discerns what others ignore, and with a destiny that no hidden attack can derail. Chosen one, your journey is sharpening you. Every shadow that tried to poison you has now marked you with deeper awareness. Every heaviness that sat on your chest has become the proof of your resilience, and every moment of confusion has prepared you for clarity that pierces like lightning. You are not broken by what you consumed. You are awakened. And that awakening will lead you into spaces no poison can follow, no shadow can linger, no darkness can thrive. Chosen one, imagine standing at a banquet table draped in velvet, plates gleaming with silver, cups filled to the brim, and yet your spirit knows. This is not abundance. This is a trap. The world will often disguise poison as blessing, heaviness as hospitality, and shadows as generosity. That is why God shook you awake. He did not want you to sit blindly at tables where your soul is being poisoned with every bite. He wanted you to rise, to discern, to reject what looks sweet but tastes of chains. Think back to how you felt after that meal, the weight in your chest, the fog in your mind, the sudden wave of restlessness you couldn't explain. That was not random, it was warfare. The food was the delivery system, but the true attack was against your light. And yet here you are, still burning, still awake, still hearing this message. That proves the poison failed. It tried to slow you, but it could not stop you. It tried to confuse you, but it could not silence your destiny. It entered your body, but it could not steal your calling. Chosen one, the truth is this: you will be invited to many tables in your life, but not all of them are meant for you. Some are altars of blessing, others are altars of darkness. That last meal was a warning shot, a lesson carved into your soul, showing you that your spirit is too powerful to eat blindly. You are being trained to see beyond appearances, to sense energy before it touches your lips, to understand that every meal carries agreement. And from this day forward, you will not eat like the world eats. You will eat as the chosen eat, with discernment, with prayer, with wisdom. And this is why your story matters. You did not just survive a poisoned plate. You unlocked a deeper awareness, the same awareness that will guard you tomorrow, the same clarity that will protect your household, the same spiritual strength that will keep your destiny untouchable. That poison could not stop you because God already sealed you. And now, every attempt to weaken you only sharpens you more, like steel pressed through fire. Chosen one, picture yourself walking through a marketplace where every stall offers food, spices, and drink, each voice calling out, "Taste this, it will satisfy you." But behind the smiles, some hands hide envy, some eyes burn with malice, and some hearts carry curses disguised as generosity. This is how the world works. Not every offering is pure, not every table is safe, and not every meal is meant to nourish you. God said your last meal brought spiritual poison because He wanted you to know the truth. There is a hidden battle even in what you eat. That heaviness you carried was not random. It was the residue of darkness delivered through something ordinary. But the very fact you noticed it proves your spirit is alive, awake, and deeply tuned to heaven's frequency. Many would have eaten the same food and felt nothing. They would have carried the poison unknowingly, letting it build layer upon layer until their fire went out. But you felt it. You questioned it. You knew something was wrong. That is the mark of the chosen. You cannot be blinded for long because God refuses to let your light be stolen. Chosen one, understand this. Poison is not just about death. It is about delay. It slows the mind. It clogs the heart. It makes your spirit heavy so you cannot rise. That is why your last meal became more than just food. It became a battlefield. And though the enemy tried to trap you in that moment, what he didn't know is that every attempt only sharpens you more. The poison that entered your body is already transformed into wisdom in your spirit. What was meant to break you has now become the very fire that forges you, and so your steps forward are not the same. You are walking differently now, more alert, more discerning, more untouchable. The tables you sit at will never again be chosen blindly. The meals you consume will never again be swallowed without awareness. You are not ordinary. You carry a spirit that cannot be fooled, a destiny that cannot be delayed, and a fire that no poison can extinguish. This is why you are here, listening, awakening, and preparing for what comes next. Chosen one, the moment you lifted that last bite to your lips, heaven already knew what was hidden inside it. God saw the invisible threads woven into that meal, the whispers of envy, the bitterness of hands that prepared it, the shadows waiting to cling to your spirit. And yet, He allowed you to eat it not to destroy you, but to reveal you. Because only through that heaviness could you learn how sensitive your spirit truly is, how alive your discernment has become, how set apart you are from the rest of the world. That heaviness was a teacher. That confusion was a signal. That restlessness was proof. The poison tried to chain your spirit, but instead, it unlocked your awareness. It showed you that your body is not just flesh, your meals not just food, your table not just a place to eat. Every bite is an invitation, every swallow an agreement, every plate an altar, and once you see that, you can never go back to blindness. You have been marked with vision now, a vision that separates you from the ordinary. Chosen one, the truth is this: poison cannot conquer what God has already chosen. It can enter your body, but it cannot cancel your calling. It can cloud your thoughts for a moment, but it cannot steal the destiny sealed over your life. In fact, its presence only proves how much the enemy fears you. He would not bother poisoning the plate of someone ordinary. He attacked your table because your table holds influence, your light carries power, and your future threatens his plans. That last meal was not just food, it was confirmation. Confirmation that you are dangerous to darkness. And now, as you move forward, your spirit carries a sharper edge. You will sense what others ignore. You will know when a table is pure and when it is defiled. You will eat with awareness, drink with discernment, and carry yourself as a temple guarded by heaven. The poison is powerless now because it has already been exposed, and exposure is the end of its strength. You are walking out of this not weakened, but transformed, not poisoned, but purified, not confused, but illuminated. Chosen one, picture yourself standing at a long wooden table in a room lit by a single flickering candle. The plates are empty now, the food long gone, but the atmosphere still feels heavy, as if the meal itself left an imprint in the air. You sense it, the residue of something that tried to claim you. But what tried to settle in your spirit has already been broken. The poison entered your body, but the presence of God in you burned hotter than any darkness. What remains now is not poison, but testimony. That last meal became a turning point. It was not about the taste on your tongue, but about the awakening in your soul. The enemy wanted to bury you under confusion, to weigh down your heart so you could not hear heaven's voice. But instead, that meal exposed his plan. It showed you what lies hidden in plain sight. It made you more aware, more sensitive, more unshakable. What was meant to weaken you has become the evidence that you are chosen. And not just chosen. You are guarded, guided, and destined for clarity that cannot be dimmed. Chosen one, this is why you felt it so deeply. This is why your body resisted, why your heart knew something was off. You are not like the others. Ordinary souls may eat and carry poison unknowingly for years, but you, your spirit refuses to remain silent. You are marked. You are protected. You are designed to see through the disguise, and this very moment proves it. You are being prepared to walk into places where discernment is your shield, where awareness is your weapon, where your light will cut through what others ignore. The table that once fed you poison has now fed you power. The heaviness became your training ground. The restlessness became your awakening. The confusion became your compass. And now, when you step into any room, sit at any table, or take any meal, your spirit will recognize instantly what is of God and what is not. This is the fruit of your awakening. You are rising, stronger than the poison, brighter than the shadows, untouchable by the schemes that once sought to weaken you. Chosen one, this is the moment you realize. The enemy did not come for your body, he came for your spirit. He slipped his attack into something as ordinary as food, because he knew you were too strong to be deceived by obvious lies. But here's the truth. You survived. The poison tried to weaken your clarity, to blur your vision, to silence your fire, but it failed. You are still here, and your spirit is brighter than ever. That last meal was not the end of you. It was the revelation of who you truly are. Do you see it now? What tried to break you has marked you with wisdom. What entered your stomach became powerless the moment it touched your spirit, because your light is not sustained by food alone. It is sustained by God's breath. That heaviness you carried afterward was not defeat, it was your awakening. It was the alarm sounding in your soul, telling you that you are different, that you cannot live as the ordinary live, that even what you eat must be chosen carefully, because your destiny is sacred. You have been called higher, and higher always demands awareness. Chosen one, from this moment forward, you will never sit at a table the same way again. You will feel the energy behind the meal. You will sense the intention behind the hands that prepared it. You will know when the bread is pure and when it carries shadow. And with that knowing, you will guard yourself, your home, and your future. This is not fear. It is wisdom. This is not paranoia. It is discernment. And discernment is the shield that keeps chosen ones alive when others fall asleep in darkness. The last meal may have brought spiritual poison, but it could not cancel your purpose. In fact, it confirmed it. Only the powerful are attacked this way. Only the chosen are targeted with such hidden warfare. You are dangerous to darkness, and that is why the enemy came for you. But what he intended as poison, God has turned into proof. Proof that your spirit cannot be broken. Proof that your fire cannot be extinguished. Proof that your destiny cannot be delayed. So rise now, chosen one. Walk away from the shadows of that meal and step into the light of your calling. Your spirit is clean. Your discernment is sharp. Your destiny is untouchable. And every table you sit at from this day forward will know you are chosen. You are guarded, and you cannot be poisoned.